Hello, good afternoon to Facebook world. It's been a while since I've gone live and feeling the inspiration to do this today. So gonna give it a few seconds here for people to join, and especially women, because as you can see from the title, I am speaking to you women, but it's also, men out there that you have women in your life. This is a great thing to share and something I felt very inspired to speak about. Yep, and that's just what happens for me with Facebook Lives is I'll get a message and I'll get an inspiration, and I know that I must do it when it's persistent, because it came through yesterday and I said, nah, I don't feel like going live on Facebook, and today it was still persistent. So I want to offer this, and I feel that it's very important and significant in a sense that for us women, this is in general, humans, women and men. However, I'm speaking to women today with this one specifically. It's very important, especially the times that we are living in right now, for us women to honor our bodies and treat our bodies as temples, because they are. It's not just a concept. It's not just something awesome to think about. Your body is your vehicle. It's the vehicle of your soul. Your body is a temple. And what we're seeing on the planet happening, and what has been happening for so many generations, is those are all symptoms of what we've been experiencing throughout our lives as the suppression of the feminine. And it's not necessarily this is not gender related. The suppression of the feminine is suppression of the feminine energy. It's the feminine principle. The feminine lives within all of us, regardless if you're a man or a woman. However, again, if I tie it back together to being a woman and having a female body, so it's not only that the feminine has been suppressed and oppressed on our planet energetically and beyond, we're also looking at the actual suppression and the distortion of women's bodies, sexuality, sensuality, and our moon cycle is one big thing that has been distorted, and I keep seeing it increasing more and more and more as we become more modernized, you can say, as we become more technologically based society and humanity. And it's really crucial and it's really essential that we don't lose touch with our human self. And that means to not lose touch with our bodies. And as women, we absolutely have the responsibility when it comes to that. As the female, as the feminine vessel in a physical form. So yes, we all carry feminine energy. However, again, speaking to the women out there, those of you that do embody a female body and what comes with that, it's absolutely our responsibility to take care of this vessel, to take care of this vehicle as the temple that it is, because it carries tremendous amount of wisdom that we need on the planet in order to bring about, to restore the balance, the beauty, and the harmony on planet Earth. That will come from the feminine wisdom, from the feminine principle coming back alive, and it starts from within. So again, everything we see on the planet is a game of consciousness. It's symptoms of something much deeper. And the deeper thing that I'm talking about is the disconnection that we just, the disconnection in general, but specifically what I'm speaking about here today is the disconnection that women have from their bodies, from their sexuality, And the thing that I'm focusing on today, even more specifically, is their moon cycle. And what inspired me to come forth with this and speak about this is, first of all, my own moon cycle that started a few days ago. And then that same day, or maybe the following day, I was looking at a YouTube video, and then an ad came. And this woman, and I don't even know what the ad was for because I didn't even finish listening to it and looking at it. But the ad came up, and the woman in the ad was saying something about how annoying it is to have a monthly period. And I don't know if the ad was for, something to take your period away, or it would have been a good idea to watch the entire ad. But the feel that I got is that, making the moon cycle something inconvenient. And that's part of the distortion that has been occurring and continues to occur in our society. And young girls, and I remember for myself, and I'm sure many of you women can relate to that, unless you were born to hippie parents, a hippie woman, a hippie mama that actually taught you about the significance and the sacredness of your womb and the monthly bleeding and what it represents and what it is and the vitality that it carries and how it can be. And there's a beautiful raven that just flew by when I was saying that, how the monthly bleeding can actually be a sacrament to the earth. And again, teaching young girls that their bodies is a temple, it's a vehicle, it's a vessel. I was not taught that as a little girl. I was taught, or at least what I saw around me and from television and in society in general, that the period is something like, ew, it's gross, or bad or dirty, or just not inconvenient kind of a thing. And oh my God, I wish I could get rid of it, or I wish I didn't have it, and all those things. And I don't think that has disappeared. Like, I was a little girl, 30 years ago. And so it's, like I said earlier, I see it increasing, actually, the ignorance that I witness around that, the misinformation and the distortion around that, and the lack of education and actual connection to the moon cycle and the connection to the moon and the tides and the earth, and how our bodies, and again, I'm going back to women, but this applies to men and women at large, how our body is intimately connected to Mother Earth. So Mother Earth is suffering because, again, those are the symptoms of a deep disconnection that humans at large are experiencing. And going back to women experience that disconnection from their own body, from their womb space, and from their moon cycle. So that ad really triggered something for me. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, and this is on YouTube, this is an ad. And I guess this is still going on, for sure. It's not decreasing. If anything, it's increasing. And women, especially in the modern world, a lot of women that I speak to, even women that you call conscious, whatever that means, but there's still approach or see their periods of something of, oh, it's inconvenient. Like, I need to kind of work my life around that. And how can I put that aside, or how can I continue with my life because it's inconvenient, like a few days out of the month or whatever. And it really, it hurts my heart to see that women are becoming more and more disconnected from their bodies, from their cycles, from their rhythms, in order to pursue goals or to stay in the game, so to speak. And by disconnecting or losing touch with that feminine vessel, with that feminine vehicle, with that feminine wisdom, we really lose touch with something very precious that the earth and humanity needs. And so again, as women, it's our responsibility, especially for those of you out there that care for the earth, that care for the planet, that care for humanity. It is our responsibility to start at home. Not let me save the world and let me save the planet, but what is my relationship with my body? What is my relationship with my womb? What is my relationship with my moon cycle? And so I've learned throughout the years, and this is especially for you women that are out there, have a full-time job or are entrepreneurs, especially speaking to entrepreneurs, because it's like you are your business, right? And so there's a few days out of the month where, well, guess what? Things are being asked of you to change or slow down and honor that cycle, honor that rhythm, honor what your body is saying and asking for. And actually, when as women, we do that, our business and everything else in our lives reaps the benefit of that. And there's so much more that opens up for us, and there's so much flow in life when we are connected to our bodies in that way, when we are connected to the wisdom of our womb and allowing that to lead the way and actually listen, which is a feminine principle. And please, I want to say that if you are listening right now live, please let me know about your own experience, if with your own body, with your own womb, with your moon cycle, your journey of actually connecting back to those cycles, connecting back to honoring yourself as a woman, to honoring your womb, and starting to create a schedule around that, not because it's inconvenient, but because it's a sacred time where your body is cleansing, where your body is shedding, where this is actually a gift that we have as women. Every single month, there's a shedding of layers, literally, that is happening on the inside, which our body with its wisdom knows that when that shedding happens, there's actually creating room for more and creating room for the new. And that's what our womb is all about, is to give life, not just to babies, but to give life energetically, creatively, in any way, shape, or form. This is our center for us women. And every month there's a cleansing and purification of that center. And I want to say also, as a side note, that this is another misconception and distortion that I see a lot in the clients that I work with, that women suffer so much during their periods. And that's why also it's such an inconvenience, because women are experiencing tremendous cramps, tremendous pains, tremendous mood swings, and the various what society has classified as PMS, right? And I'm going to say this loud and clear, it's a big fat lie. Because when the body is clean, when your body as a woman is clean because you eat clean food and you rest well and your nervous system is not all frazzled because you're stressed out, and but mainly it's the cleanliness and cleansiness of your body. And when your body is in that state, you actually don't suffer, you don't experience such horrible symptoms during your periods. When your body is clean, when you eat light and clean and you take care of your temple on a regular basis throughout the month, day in and day out, those 4 or 5 days out of the month, you don't suffer, because there aren't so many toxins that your body is trying to expel through the bleeding, the monthly cycle. So actually, the cleaner you become in your body, the cleaner you eat, the more you take care of yourself, you'll start to notice that the symptoms are actually gone. And I'm speaking from experience here that, and I never had horrible symptoms. And I know many women that do, but even for myself, I experienced throughout the years, when I cleaned myself, and this is what I do, this is what I promote, is the living foods, is the light, eating from the earth, the fruits and the herbs, and eating in harmony with the cycles and nature. And the cleaner your body is, the cleaner my body has become throughout the years, the less symptoms I feel. I basically don't feel anything. The first day, it's not that I'm in pain or having horrible symptoms, but, and this is what I really want to convey here today, is my body says slow down. Amanda is saying, I used to have it bad until I cleaned up my eating and body. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm speaking about. Thank you, Amanda. And if you're watching, again, if you're watching live, love to see your comments. And if you're watching later, then please, chime in what's been your journey and what's been your experience throughout the years and where you're at now. So I'm talking about different elements here, focusing on the physical right now. So on the first day of my period, my body just says, slow down. And that's the honoring, that's the listening that I'm talking about. And rather than seeing it as an inconvenience, a monthly inconvenience, I actually bless it. And it depends on how accurate your cycle is, when you know exactly when you're going to bleed. My invitation to you is to start building your schedule around that on the first and second day of your moon cycle, don't put anything on the schedule. Don't put anything on the schedule. Yes. And for some women, it's like, what? Yes. Yes. Because back in the day, when we were living in ancient times and in tribal times, and when women actually lived in sync with nature and in sync with the cycle of their bodies and the cycles of life and nature, their moon time was, no, you don't do chores. You bleed, you rest. You let your body rest and bleed and shed and cleanse. So I'm not saying that all of us, unless you want to, I'm not saying that all of us need to go into the woods and start living in like tribal times. I think it's a great idea, and that's what I'm heading towards. But I understand that we live in a modern time, and this is what I'm so passionate about, is actually how do we create a bridge between the ancient times and modern times? Because yes, not everybody is going to move into a teepee in the woods. So how can we live as modern women in touch and in sync with nature and with the cycles? And the easiest thing is, it's right here. You are in your body all the time, right? And the more you connect with your body, it's inevitable. This is just an inevitable process that you'll be connected more with nature and with the natural rhythms and cycles of life. So even if you do live in a city, like a super modern lifestyle, you can say, and you have a busy schedule, you're an entrepreneur or your full-time job, whatever that is to implement that piece into your life where your moon cycle becomes a sacred time in the month. Just even the perception, this is a sacred time in your life rather than an inconvenience that I need to do something about, to take a pill, to try to get rid of, to try to suppress. Because again, when we do that as women, when we lose touch with our bodies and our natural cycles, we lose touch with our sacred wisdom. We lose touch with our womb, which is the center of our being, and it's the center of our creation and the center of our creativity and life force. We lose touch with that. We lose touch with the earth. And when women lose touch with their bodies and the earth, that's why we experience so much turmoil. And women must empower themselves by feeling, finding, connecting, and embodying the power that is already within us. And that power is, like I said, in our feminine vessel and vehicle, our womb, our monthly bleeding, and the way we take care of ourselves and the way we approach ourselves and our cycles. So if you still struggle with that, start by, by that little switch of perception. This is a sacred time during the month, not an inconvenience, not something to get rid of, but something to cherish, something to value, something to honor, something to nurture. We are now in Cancer time. When I'm talking astrologically, it's all about nurturing. It's all about connecting back to that motherly love that you need to give yourself. Cancer is that womb space. How to nourish that, how to nurture that. And there are so many other tools and herbs to take as a woman, herbs that you can put in your bath, yoni steam, and things that it might be new to you. And if it is, then please leave a comment. You send me a message. This is something I would love to share more. But for today, with this message, this is what I wanted to share really from my heart, is start treating your body as that sacred temple, and start treating your moon cycle as a sacred time during every single month. And again, if you are a man, actually, and if you have a woman in your life, a partner, this is something you can do together also. And for you as a man, to honor your woman during that time of the month, and actually help her and support her, encourage her to rest, encourage her to slow down, rub her feet, place your hands on her lower belly, on her womb. It's like something that you can actually do together as a couple, and it's a beautiful thing that benefits not just the woman but the man as well, and the relationship. So there's something very sacred and something beautiful about that bleeding, about that shedding, about that time during the month. And it's definitely not just an inconvenient thing. Alrighty. Let me read a couple comments here. It's interesting that when I have done the master cleanse during my moon, I discovered I had no cramps at all. My period was easier than usual, noticeably. Awesome, Meg. Yes. So what I said a little bit ago, and that's another thing that, please, if you want to chat more about that, if you are a woman out there that definitely suffers from heavy periods and uncomfortable, like it's really, not that it's inconvenient in terms of having your moon cycle, but it's really an inconvenient thing in your life because you experience heavy symptoms every single month. And I get that. That can be definitely inconvenient, but the thing is, it was not designed to be that. So that's part of the distortion. That's part of we've been fed many, many lies. And this is one of them as women. How to suppress our own our power is by distorting something as beautiful as the moon cycle, and also make women believe that they're supposed to be in pain, they're supposed to be suffering, it's supposed to be like so horrible, a few days out of the month. Like, I know women that literally cannot even get out of bed. It's so extreme. But it was not designed to be that way. If you don't take care of your body, if you eat heavy, I'm going to tell you, you're going to feel it during your periods. The cleaner you are, and not just doing a cleanse twice a year, but on a regular basis, the cleaner you are, the lighter your periods will be in terms of symptoms, and also how much blood comes out. Because like I said, the blood is that detoxification, is that purification. And if there's heavy bleeding every single month, it's because your body, with its wisdom, knows there's a lot that we need to release and cleanse. And when your body is clean, there's just not as much. And so please hit me up with that. If you women out there that definitely suffer, if you're a man out there that know women in your life that suffer heavily during their periods, I've worked with clients, with many women, and across the board, you clean the diet, you clean your lifestyle, the periods dramatically change from black to white. And like I said, there's a lot of herbs that women, they want to get familiar with to get their hormones in balance. So there's also not so much of that emotional roller coaster during the periods. Yes, there is a change, and I experienced that as well, but it's not that roller coaster. It's not the, like, so many women feel so irritated before their moon cycle or during, very angry or all that stuff. And it's actually, in my experience, it's more of this feeling more internal, feeling the need to slow down. And the more you get in touch and in tune with yourself and with your womb, you start noticing, you start listening to those messages, that irritation. You feel irritated first. Yeah, there's some hormonal stuff going on, but you feel so irritated because your body is saying, stop. I want to slow down. I want to be quiet. I want to be more internal. But if you are a woman that is like go, 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 and keep socializing and doing things, even though, it's a few days before the period and you don't listen, then it comes up as irritation because your nervous system feels like it's too much, and that shows up as irritation. So the learning to listen, learning to honor, learning to give yourself the quiet space that you need. And every month is different, yeah, for sure. But this is in general, give yourself the time that you need to shed, to cleanse, to be with yourself, to be with your womb, and honor the sacredness that it really is. All right, so I need to go now. I wanted it to be like 20 minutes, so it's almost 30 here. But please, if you are joining right now and like, oh shit, I really want to listen to this, and please watch again. This is a message for all of you women out there. This is so important, especially during this time. Our awakening, our ascension as individuals, as humanity, is coming through our bodies, and our connection to our bodies again. Especially like I said earlier, we're becoming such a technologically based society, and more losing touch with our bodies. And especially we see it in the younger generation. So leave your comment. Let me know what your thoughts on this, what your experience is. If you have any questions specifically on a personal level about you, your body, your womb, your moon cycle, then please send me a private message, and would love to talk to you about all that. So sending you lots of love. Thank you for tuning in if you are here live, and those of you that are watching later. And I'll see you next time. Have an awesome day, afternoon, night, wherever you may be. Thank you for tuning in. Mwah. Much love.